Okay, this is tutorial number 7, and in this tutorial about Python we're going to go ahead and talk about lists. Now, a list is basically just going to be a group of strings or objects that we're going to throw into one collection. Now, a list can be made of strings or objects or pretty much anything that you want to put into it in single form. It's not like a database, it's more like just a list. Well, I mean, it's a list. So we'll go ahead and we're going to call our list. We'll just call it list. And we're going to set it to equal brackets. Now the brackets are showing, well, actually, let's put some stuff in our list first. So we have the list. We're going to go ahead and add, let's say, peanut butter and then we will add jelly. Okay, so our list now has peanut butter and jelly in it. And if we just type list, it's going to show us that we have peanut butter and jelly in our list. Now let's make another list. We're going to go ahead and call that list utin for utensils. And we're going to go ahead and set that to have not a fork, we'll do a knife and a spoon. Okay, so now we have another list, and if we type in utin, you can see we still get the knife and the spoon back, and if we do list, we still get peanut butter and jelly. Now, something that you can do to lists is you can do something called append, which will add an item to the end of the list. So let's see, we have peanut butter and we have jelly, but we don't have any bread to put that on. So let's go ahead and do list.append, and it's a function, so it will have the brackets, and we're going to go ahead and put bread in there. And now when we type in list, it gives us peanut butter, jelly, and bread. Okay, so now we have a list with peanut butter, and we have a list with some utensils. Now, just like with strings, you can go ahead and you can pull from a list by indexes starting at 0. So if we type in list and say we want to know what's in spot 2, which would actually be the third spot in the list, and that's going to give us bread. Now say we want to say that that bread is white bread, so we're going to go ahead and do list. We'll put the 2 in there, and then we'll put it equal to white bread. Now if we do list, you can see it changed that bread to white bread. So now you can see, I mean, this could be useful. We could use this in some things. Now let's just add another thing to our list real quick, and we'll add soda. Oops. Okay, so now we have our list, and it has peanut butter, jelly, white bread, and soda. Now, say you wanted to delete something from the list because you didn't mean to put it in there. Like, for instance, the soda, because we don't have a cup in the utensils list. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete the soda. So you do del for delete, and you do list, and then in the spot you'll put what spot the soda is, which should be in spot 3. Then we'll hit enter, and if we do list again, bam, there, see, soda is gone. So that's how you can delete things from lists. Now say, just like in the list before, you just want to print out certain parts of the list. So let's say we want, from the list, we only want the first couple things to print off. So we'll go ahead and put that, and then we'll put 2. And then when we print that off, that just gives you the first 2 spots, because remember, just like with the strings, it stops at the number that you put there for the index instead of after it, like it starts. So there you go, we can do that with those lists. Now say you wanted to add 2 lists together. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say list, and then we're going to do something called plus equals, which means that we're going to take what's originally in list and we're also going to add to it what we put after this, which in this case would be util. And now, oh, we got an error. Oh, that's because we didn't call it util, we called it utin. So list plus equals utin. Alright, now if we print list, you can see it also added the knife and the spoon to the end of that. Okay, so that's pretty cool. But say you wanted to put your list in alphabetical order. You could do list dot sort, and then because it's a function, you have to put the parentheses. Now we'll get more into functions later on when we start actually writing our own functions. These are built-in functions that are already in Python, and basically there's a bit of code behind there in the string class that's saying, okay, you're going to run the function sort on list, and what it does is it does the bit of code that's in sort. So, but you'll see that better when we get further on in the tutorials. Now if we type out the list, it's in alphabetical order. We have a jelly, a knife, peanut butter, spoon, and white bread. Now we want to use the jelly, so we're going to go ahead and use the jelly. Now how you can take something out and use it, it's using the pop method, and that will take it out of the list. So if we do list dot pop parentheses, we have to put the spot that jelly's in, which just happens to be the first spot, so it'll be 0. Then enter, and see, that gives us back what was there, jelly. So it's like we used it. Now if you go back into the list, jelly is gone because we used it. Now that could be very useful in games and quite a bit of other things that I could think of. So that's a little bit about the different things that you can do with lists. Another thing you can do with lists is actually count them, which list.count oh, we have to give an error of times an item occurs in a list. Oh, okay, that's what it is. If we do list.count, because say we want to know how many times we have, or how many knives we have. So now in those, we're going to go ahead and put knife. Now if we hit enter, there's 1 knife in our list. So that's how you can use the count method. We already did the index, and if you wanted to reverse the list, you could do list reverse, and now if we print out the list, it's in reverse order. So those are some things that you can do with lists. Now next time we'll go ahead and we'll talk about tuples and dictionaries, which dictionaries are really useful, and tuples are too. The thing with a tuple is that you cannot change a tuple after you create it. It will always be that no matter how you try to change it. You can't change what's in the, or what, you can't change what's in the tuple. You can't append to a tuple, and you can't do pop or any of that to a tuple. It's always going to be whatever you set it for. So if you wanted a list that you did not want to change ever, like say a routine of something that always had to be done, you could put it in a tuple, and that would save it for all the time that you wanted to use it. And the way that you would do a tuple is you would just type it in as tuple, and then you would put your an equals, and then whatever you wanted in there in parentheses. So let's say we always need a plate, and we always need napkins. How about that? That'll work. Then we hit enter. Alright, now we're going to put in tuple. You can see it's a plate and a napkin. Now if we try to do tuple.append, and let's say we're trying to add a fork to this. And now, as you see, it says an attribute error, tuple object has no attribute append. Meaning you can't do an append to a tuple. And just like if we were to do tuple.pop, and let's say 0. Oops. See, and you can't pop anything out of a tuple. So the tuple will always stay that same, however you made it. It won't change. But a list you can change to your heart's content. And next time we will talk about dictionaries. Thank you, have a good day, and see you guys later.